Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Hi. So you've had quite a story over the past few years.
Yes.
What age were you when you first began to realize that you were a little bit different from other boys your age?
That's a good question because it's going to be an older age than people think. I watch old episodes of Who's the Boss and I think, God, he is just so queer. I don't know how I hadn't figured it out. I just watched the episode. I was on a date with a girl and I was like, stop being so gay. God.
Do you think your time in the spotlight, being on a television show like Who's the Boss that's viewed by millions of people around the world, do you feel like that had a part in keeping you in the closet as long as you have?
Maybe on a subconscious level. I think the fears surrounding being gay were stronger than the sort of celebrity connection. Because once I actually came to it, once I was gay and out and proud, it just was a matter of getting there. And then once I was there, I didn't care.
Now, unfortunately for you, at the time that you came out, you were actually forced out of the closet. And the landscape was very different for out celebrities at that time.
Incredibly different.
What was the reaction, the public reaction, like for you, from your point of view?
Mostly good. I got a lot of messages from people, from guys that were like, thank you so much, and you're sort of the first vision of this that I have, the first thing I can relate to, and I've always said that it's one of my regrets in life that I didn't do anything at the time about it.
Let's fast forward a few years. You're out. You've become well-adjusted as an out gay person. You go through a breakup and you decide, I want to begin experimenting and explore a different side of myself sexually.
Yes.
And you begin using meth.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how that drug was introduced into your life.
It just so happened that the people that I was encountering, or the one person in particular, was doing meth. I didn't know it. I went over there to hang out with him and he had meth. And I said, all right, whatever, I'll give it a try, not having any concept of what that meant and what would result from that, you know. And I think that's part of the problem is oh, sure, I'll try it, but that's it, 10 years later and I still have cravings and it's going to be there for a long time,
It's one thing to talk about marriage equality in mass media. It's another thing to talk about sex between two men. And do you feel like that stigma and that reluctance to talk about that is part of what is adding to the HIV epidemic?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, anything that adds to the fear or the feelings that you're less than or dirty or any of that are a contributing factor, of course. But as I've said recently, we can't really do anything about the society stigma until we get rid of the internal stigma. If we can get to that place where we're comfortable and we're inviting and okay with it, then we can start to work on that sort of external force.
Are you a supporter of PrEP?
Yes. I am a huge supporter of PrEP. I mean, if you add PrEP to the equation, we virtually have the tools to eradicate new infections. And that's so exciting. I'm a huge proponent of it, but I'm only a proponent of it if you're doing it right. Just because you're on PrEP doesn't mean you cannot use condoms.
If young people can take only one thing away from the message that you're promoting right now, what would you hope that would be?
A really hard message for them to understand, which is that, yeah, we've come far enough that you can take one pill and you're fine every day, but that's not the answer. What if you start taking medications and in 5 years you lose your job for a period of time, you can't afford the medications, you become resistant to those medications. Choosing to use condoms is just not a part of the story anymore. And it's totally baffling to me.
So this is by far not the last we've heard from
Definitely not. Oh, definitely not. I keep saying this to people, but it rings so true to me. We're really good at rallying as a community, right? In
Absolutely.
the 80s, with the epidemic, every single person had something to do. They either went to rallies, called politicians, brought food to friends and strangers. Somehow they got involved, and it brought change, right? In the last 10 years, 15 years, can you name any time when, as a community, we rallied hard within to eradicate HIV and meth?
It's fallen by the wayside.
You can't. And that makes me mad, because I know we're good at this. I know we're good at rallying. Let's just focus on us now and rally from within.